Kal, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma'amah.
All right, Shalom. This is Hara 1 by Nyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal, Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This lesson is going to be based upon a parable, or in this sense, it would be an allegory. Now, the word allegory is basically another form of the word parable, or analogy, or a metaphor. You know, like you hear a lot of rappers today, they use metaphors in their raps. You know, it says a story, an allegory is a story, a poem, or a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one, right? In this case, it's a spiritual meaning behind this allegory, meaning something symbolic of another. So I want to get into Song of Solomon, which that whole book of Solomon that was written was an allegory of Solomon's, who also is Yahushai, allegory of Yahushai's love for the church. All right, the elect of Israel, the bride, the woman, the servant of Yahushai, the husbandman. All right, so that's an allegory. It's a poem or story or a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning. To reveal a hidden meaning, okay? This is Proverbs 1, and I start from verse 5, all right? And this is another proverb, well, this is a proverb from King Solomon, again, all right? So it says, to understand, a wise man, verse 5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels, all right? And the wise counsel are the men that's teaching this truth today. The elect, the hopeful elect. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings, okay? The dark sayings represents the allegories, the parables, all right, to be able to understand it. All right, so I'm going to get into this parable or this allegory in Song of Solomon, chapter 6. Okay, it says, Song of Solomon, chapter 6. Who is she that looketh forth as the morning, fair as the moon, clear as the sun, and terrible as an army with banners? You know, so let's get into it. All right, so let's start with the first part of this allegory. It says, who is she that looketh forth as the morning? All right, so who is she that looketh forth as the morning? All right, so what that's talking about is the elect of Israel, the church, that's being called out of this world is going to shine forth in the kingdom of the Lord. The morning represents the kingdom. All right. 2nd Ezra 7:26. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens or these prophecies, which I have, or these signs, which I have told thee, shall come to pass. All right. The prophecies are coming to pass. And the bride shall appear. See, the bride, the bride, which is the elect of Israel. And she shall appear. See, just like the morning. You have the nighttime, the dark of we're in the night right now, but then the morning begins to appear. All right, in its beauty and splendor. And the sun rises what? In the east. And that's where the kingdom is going to arise from. Even though we're being lifted up in this truth scattered around the world, we're going to rule from Jerusalem, from Israel, Salakia. And our capital is going to be in Jerusalem. But we're going to rule from the coast of Israel all over the world and into the universe. All right, so just like the sun rises in the east, our kingdom is going to be raised up in the east. And it says, the bride shall appear, all right? Once the elect get taken up into the chariots, all right, and brought back down to this earth, that's when she's going to appear. And she coming forth, just like the morning, all right, the morning comes forth, shall be seen that now is withdrawn from the earth, man. So that she that is talking about is Israel, but ultimately the elect, the church. All right, the word church means to be called out. All right. Jeremiah 6:2, I have likened the daughter of Zion, all right, so the elect of Israel, to a comely and delicate woman. You see that? So he has likened us to the hopeful elect to a comely and delicate woman. And that word woman just means servant. So Song of Solomon 6:10, who is she that looketh forth as the morning? 2 Peter 1:19, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, just like the moon shines at nighttime. All right, because that goes into the other part of the allegory. Matter of fact, let me get this. It says, who is she, Song of Solomon 6:10, who is she that looketh forth as the morning? All right, the sun rises in the east, just like our kingdom shall be risen up out of the east, with the land of Israel. And as the morning, it goes from night to the beautiful splendor of the morning, changing colors. The whole process is a beautiful process, just like us today, waking up in this truth. It's a beautiful process, seeing the sun rise, seeing our kingdom being risen up little by little through the Spirit. Just like you watch the sun rise in the morning. So who is she that looketh forth as the morning, and fair as the moon, beautiful as the moon? You know, the moon is just like you have one glory for the sun and another glory for the moons. The morning is made for the sun. The night is made for the moon. So we're shining in these dark times through the Spirit. The moon reflects the light from the sun. It has its own light, but it also reflects. Ultimately, 90% reflects absorbs the sun's light and shines it in the nighttime. Just like we absorbed Yahweh's light and we shining it in these night dark times until the morning, where the sun can shine in the morning in the kingdom, Yahweh's kingdom. All right, so the same way the moon is brighter than the stars at night in glory. All right, the word fair means beautiful as the moon. So let's get that real quick. 2 Peter 1:19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place. See that? So it's like the nighttime. The moon is bright when it's at full. All right, when the moon is full, that's when it's at its most beautiful point, where you can see it in its perfection. All right. So that's now, us in this truth. The light shining in a dark place. Until the day dawn, until that slither of light peeks over the horizon, which is the kingdom of the Lord. All right. And that's what we're witnessing today. We can feel it. Until the day dawn, until the kingdom dawns, or starts to rise, and the day star arises in your heart. The day star represents the light of the sun, but in this case, it's talking about Yahushua. All right, the day star. It's meaning he's the star that's going to shine in the day, in the kingdom. All right. So let's get back to the allegory. All right. So these are all the perfected points of both, and different glories for each. The nighttime is made for us to shine the light, meaning the spirit of truth. That's our weapons. That's our glory in these times. In the kingdom, which is going to be our glory, still will be Yahushua, the light of that sun that reflects upon the moon, and the same light that shall rule over the day in the kingdom. All right. Job 31 and 26. If I beheld the sun when it shined, that's when it's at its perfection, at 12 noon. All right. Or the moon walking in brightness. Walking in brightness represents being at its full point, at its perfection. All right. All right. Song of Solomon 6 and 10. Who is she? All right. So we know that's talking about Israel. That looketh forth as the morning. That's talking about the elect ruling in the kingdom of heaven. All right. In the land of Israel. In the east. And rising as the morning after the dark. And fair as the moon. So the same way the moon has this beauty in the nighttime and at its fullest point, in its perfection. All right, so beautiful as the moon in nighttime, man. And that's how we're shining our light in these times right now. This is Revelations 21 and 22. And I saw no temple therein, so we're not going to need a temple in the kingdom. Yeah, Yahushua is our temple. We're the temple. Even though things are going to be built up, but the focus is our covering, our temple, our safe house is going to be Yahushua, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So I saw no temple therein, for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, the power almighty, so Yahweh and the Lamb are the temple of it. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it. So even though, the sun and the moon is always going to be there, but this showing you that it's an allegory, it's a parable that it's talking about in the Song of Solomon when it speaks about the sun and the moon. It really goes into knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And that's what's been given to the nation of Israel, to shine in the night and to rule in the day in the kingdom of our Lord. All right. And the city had no need of the sun, neither the moon to shine in it, for the glory of Yahweh did lighten it. And the Lamb is the light thereof, man. So Yahweh set up Yahushua the same way he set up the sun to rule in the morning. He set up Yahushua to rule in the kingdom, and also to rule through us in the night, because we're ruling right now in the spirit. you know, tell you to rule over your households, right? And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. So the elect of Israel, that's when they want prophesied to be saved. They're going to walk in the light of Yahushua in the kingdom. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. All right, so Song of Solomon 6 and 10. Who is she that looketh forth as the morning, for fair as the moon, man? So, you know, so the Lord said, put on thy beautiful garments. And it's beautiful to be in his truth. All right, so it says, fair as the moon, and that word fair goes into beautiful, as the moon, and when it's at was it full moon or blue moon? It's doing like real bright super moon. That's how the elect are shining in these dark times right now, with the spirit of truth. All right, so when it talks about shining, or the sun, it's really talking about what was given to the nation of Israel from the beginning: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But now it's through Yahushua, you know. Ecclesiastes 8 and 1. Who is as the wise man, and knoweth the interpretation of a thing? All right, the interpretation of the allegories and parables. A man's wisdom, which represents the light, right? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, all right? Just like the moon in the night. And the boldness of his face shall be changed. And this is ultimately talking about in the kingdom. So now, in going into the kingdom, wisdom maketh your face to shine, your countenance. All right, so this is talking about in the kingdom, Matthew 13 and 41. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels. So Yahushua is going to show up in a huge chariot, and he's going to send forth his angels in other chariots to gather his elect. And they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. So they're going to be left to be destroyed. The 2/3 in these heathens that's over here. There shall be weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. So it'll be painful. Then shall the righteous shine forth. So then shall the righteous be known, who is elect, who is the Lord's elect. And they're going to be taken up into the chariots and then shown to the world. Then shall the righteous, the elect of Israel, shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. That's going to be over in the east. All right, in the land of Israel. Who have ears to hear, let them hear. All right, so that's when the elect is going to shine forth as the morning. All right, Revelations 12 and 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. So, you know, a woman, that woman is she, again, the woman is Israel. A woman clothed with the sun. So sun, and the sun in this sense represents wisdom. And we were clothed with the laws. He said, this is our wisdom in the sight of the nations. And the Lord clothed us when we were naked coming out of Egypt. So that was given to us, wisdom. All right. And the moon under her feet. All right. The knowledge or wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So these things helped us to be exalted and help us to be exalted even today. You know, so, and upon her head, a crown of 12 stars. So that crown of 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of Israel. That was as founded upon the sun, moon, and stars, the knowledge, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And through that, let's get this. says here, Sirach 4 and 11, wisdom exalteth her children. See, that's what lifts us up. Just like the sun and the moon is lifted up in their time, in the morning and in the night. If that's our foundation, we're lifted up upon it. All right, so wisdom exalteth her children, and layeth hold of them that seek her, man. It says, Sirach 1 and 19, wisdom, see, from wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge. See, the knowledge of understanding, standing, okay? Raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding, and exalteth them to honor that hold her fast. Okay, so by us clinging to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, we exalt it. So that's our foundation. That's what it says, under her feet, the moon, the sun, and the stars under her feet. Now it says, Song of Solomon 6 and 10, who is she that looketh forth as the morning? All right. Fair as the moon, beautiful as the moon in its time, at nighttime. And even though it's dark, we're still shining as the moon in its fullness. Clear as the sun, all right? So the sun is supposed to be what? That light is unspotted. Even though you have sunspots, but it's supposed to be unspotted. That light is pure light. That's what we call it, pure white light. All right? Matter of fact, let's get that. All right, that's what it said, until the day star arise in your heart. So Yahweh Shai is that light. John 1 and 16, verse 6. There was a man sent from Yahweh whose name was Yachanan, or John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. All right, so he's that sign. He's that banner, that through Yahweh Shai we may all believe. He was not, so John was not that light. So we're not the light, just like we're the moon. All right. He was not the light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. See, we bear witness of Yahweh Shai. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. So we get our wisdom and light and knowledge and wisdom and understanding from Yahweh Shai. See that? All right, so Song of Solomon 6 and 10, it says, who is she that looketh forth as the morning, you know, as it changes from night, the darkness to the kingdom, the sunrise. Fair as the moon, beautiful as the moon in the fullness at nighttime, where we shine our light, which is the light that lighteth the elect. We shine in Yahweh Shai, and the banner, lifting him up. Clear as the sun, meaning what? This is Job 11 and 15. For then, verse 14, if iniquity be in thine hand, put it far away, and let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacle. That's us. All right, so, for then shalt thou lift up thy face without spot. And now we can lift up our face in these dark times as the moon is full. And but the thing is, to be without spot. The moon has what they call craters all in it. So the spots will represent the light of the sun. All right, the clearness, Salakia, will represent the light of the sun. For then shalt thou lift up thy face without spot. Yea, thou shalt be steadfast and shalt not fear, because thou shalt forget thy misery. And this is ultimately when the elect get delivered and changed into new bodies and shine forth in the kingdom of the Lord and be made perfect. And shalt not fear, see? Because thou shalt forget thy misery. See, we're going to forget all this. and remember it as waters that pass away. It's going to be like a nightmare. It's going to subside off of us as we go into the kingdom. Things that we're going through now cannot be compared with the things that the Lord has for them that love him. So it's going to overpower everything that we've been through. And thine age shall be clearer than the noonday, and thou shalt shine forth. Thou shalt be as the morning. Okay, so the elect are going to shine forth and be as the morning, as you see the sun rising in the morning. You know, little by little, until it's at its full, and the kingdom of heaven is on this earth. It's like noonday. Clearer than noonday. That means clear and unspotted. This is Ephesians 5 and 26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word. So we're washed and cleansed through the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, the light. That he might present it to himself a glorious church. And that's what we're reading about in Song of Solomon chapter 6, the glorified church. All right, glorified Israel. The elect of Israel. It says what? Just like the sun, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing. All right, just like a pure lamb. But that it should be holy and without blemish, man. Okay, just like the light, the sun is perfect. This is Psalms 50:1. The mighty power Yahweh, even Yahweh, have spoken and called the earth from the rising of the sun unto the going down thereof, from east to west. Out of Zion, out of Israel, the perfection of beauty. Yahweh have shined. See that? So the Lord has shined, and he's going to shine through us in our perfection, in our beauty. All right, let's move on. Song of Solomon 6:10. Who is she that looketh forth as the morning, fair as the moon, clear as the sun? See, clear as the sun, unspotted. A light that shineth in its perfection, or the moon, and the sun is supposed to shine perfect light. All right, being clear and unspotted, and terrible as an army with banners, man. So who is she that's terrible as an army with banners? This is Revelations 11:9. It says, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half. So these nations, they saw us in our destroyed state, especially over here in America, for 350 years. You know, counting from the 70s or the 60s going back. I think I'll take it to 1619 if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, to get to the point. And shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So that lets you know this is another allegory, a parable, to where the graves is talking about us being in a dead state. All right, without help, without movement, without life. So that's talking about us being spiritually dead. But the Lord in Ezekiel 37, he promised to bring us out of these graves. And now we're alive and standing up, what? A great army. Let's get that too. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them. So they rejoiced over us and made merry, and shall send gifts one to another, like gator bait cards, right? Sending slaves back and forth to each other. We were the main resource amongst trade and bartering during the times of slavery. All right, so because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth, that's what they call us, terrible as an a terrible army with banners, and you know. So what make us terrible? We was tormenting these nations during the times of King David, King Solomon, during the times of Yahushua, tormenting these people with the word and the prophecies. All right. And they heard it says, and after 3 days and a half, so after 350 years, around the 1960s and 70s, the spirit of life, so the spirit of truth, the breath from Yahweh entered into them. Into who? The elect, the church. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So that's why they're like a terrible army with banners and putting fear into these nations. All right, Joshua 9 and 7. And the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, this happened around 1406 BC, during the time of Joshua, going into the land of Canaan. It says, peradventure ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you? And they said unto Joshua, we are thy servants. And Joshua said unto them, who are ye? And from whence come ye? And they said unto him, from a very far country, thy servants are come because of the name of Yahweh thy power, for we have heard the fame of him and all that he did in Egypt. So these nations hear the fame and it's going of what Yahweh did for his men. And the prophets will put the nations in fear. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, going back to 592 BC. Ezekiel 37 and 7. It says, so I prophesied as I was commanded. Like we commanded to prophesy today. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, the shaking, and the bones came together. That represent the camps of Israel coming together. The nations, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, coming together as one in the spirit of truth. It says, bone to his bone. The scriptures say, every creature shall cling unto their like, if I'm not mistaken. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews, yeah, which one? My bad, so okay, yeah, it's the next two verses. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh, so the muscles and the flesh, people start calling themselves Israelites around the 1960s and 70s. And the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. So still the Lord had to do the sift and put the breath in his elect, starting from Abba Bivens, King Mashah, or Elder Yaiquab, to Apostle Tahar, on down, on to us today. So now we have the breath, and these other camps don't have no breath in them. But check this out. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man. So we don't have to go person to person. You prophesy out in the streets, and the Lord is going to filter the word and have it land where it's supposed to upon each blade of grass. You can put one drop of rain upon the elect and keep the other blades of grass dry if he chooses to. It says, say unto the wind, thus saith Yahweh power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. See, we were blessed to come out of the graves and live, shining in the nighttime, just like the moon. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, according to Revelation chapter 11. And they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. So they said it's like a terrible, like a army with banners. So this is that army that it's talking about. Then said he unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dried, and our hope is lost, and we are cut off for our parts. And that's what 2/3 are saying. They say, the Lord don't love us. We nobodies. You know? So they want to go back into Egypt. And they're going to be destroyed with Egypt. But the elect, they represent that army, that great exceeding army. Right? The whole house of Israel, but the Lord is still filtering because of the breath. The breath got to be in them. Other than that, they just look like strong-ass Israelites. But our true strength is in the Lord, in the truth, in the light. All right, Song of Solomon 6:10. Who is she that looketh forth as the morning, fair as the moon, beautiful as the moon in the nighttime, clear as the sun, unspotted in the morning, right? And clear on a beautiful, shining day, man. That's how it's going to be in the kingdom. It's going to be evident that the elect are the children of God, of the most high power. And terrible, you know, not terrible like the crystal, but terrible meaning dreadful. Like an army. As an army with banners, man. All right, like you see a flag staff, or you see the Roman armies carrying their staff, which would be like an eagle, a standard. Or you see football teams or teams in the Olympics having their flag of their country. That's our flag is today. Not no damn Star Rim fam. Our flag is not no Ethiopian flag. Our flag is the scriptures. But the Lord says what? He dwells in the volume of the book. So our flag, our staff, our banner, our sign, our signet, our ensign is Yahushua that we lift up today. An army with the banners. That's a place, a meeting point, saying we meet here, we take our stand here. You know? So we're lifting up that banner. Let's get that. All right, Isaiah 13:1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. So that's where we're at, Babylon. Lift ye up a banner. See that? And that word banner goes into an ensign, a sign, or a flag, or a standard. Okay, so we're lifting up that banner, this word, the scriptures today. All right, we're lifting up Yahushua, exalting his name. Upon the high mountain, and the high mountain means that great exalted government representing America, or the daughter of Babylon, or Babylon the Great. So lift you up a banner upon the high mountain. And what did he say? If we have faith as small as a mustard seed, we could say that this mountain be removed and cast into the sea. Like it never existed. And through our prayers, that's what's going to happen to this place. Because of the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand. So we go out and teach, we exalt the voice. That's why I tell brothers all the time, lift up your voice. We're out there to exalt and lift up the banner, like an army with banners, man, shouting out our battle cry. That's why we're not supposed to be out there whispering and shit, talking to ourselves, mumbling. We're supposed to be launching off our voice, man. Even though the camera right in front of you, lift up your voice. We ain't got to scream to our veins popping out, but lift up your voice for the people walking by so the prophecies can be played out. It's prophesied that they're gonna hear a voice behind them saying, go ye this way. So they gotta be able to hear your voice. You gotta lift up your voice. All right? Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand. So you're pointing at them saying this way. Or you're pointing at them in rebuke. That they may go into the gates of the nobles. Right? Sending them out saying, go. All right. Some are called, which means the church, to be called out. And then they're apostolized, meaning sent forth into the world to go teach. into the gates of the nobles, meaning their nobles, their judges, their teachers, their preachers, their evangelists, their politicians, their professors. All right, that's why we go into the marketplace or in the city hall or at a huge park where a lot of people are off work and they're traveling through these parks or something. And you teach out in the open, and it opens a room for debate where you publicize the word, make it public. All right, and challenge their judges and their nobles in the streets, in the city hall, in the market, meeting places. All right, so that they may go into the gates of the nobles. So that's what we're doing. We're lifting up that banner, but we're an army, according to Ezekiel chapter 37 and Revelation chapter 9. And we're lifting up the banner upon the high mountain. They say we're the army, right? 2 Timothy 2 and 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua. So if you're in this truth, you're a soldier in an army. The cavalry is coming. All right? So you're a soldier in Yahushua's army. No man that, so we got to endure, meaning show patience and endure the hardness. So this world will harden you against this place, build callous. And we have to endure that pain and affliction that's going to make us, the scriptures say, let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be entire, meaning complete, full, wanting nothing from this damn place. Not wanting in wisdom, you'll be given the wisdom. No man that warreth, see, we had a war, this is a spiritual war. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, see, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. That's why we be clinging to these women, clinging to money, clinging to these jobs, and the Lord will just strip it from you, or have the women turn against you, or a wicked woman. You know, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, and if a man said, may it please the Most High that that man escape her. So if a woman's wicked, you're not supposed to cling under that. Or these churches or these family members. The Lord is pulling us away from all of that. You know, we're here to change the world, not be changed by the world. You know, to be in the world, but not of the world. That's why we're soldiers in the Lord's army. All right, chosen you. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. All right, so we're lifting up Yahushua according to Isaiah chapter 11. The Lord said, Yahweh said he's going to raise up an ensign, and unto it shall the Gentiles seek, man. The Gentiles are the Israelite foreigners that scattered. So we're able to, that represents us. And we're seeking unto Yahushua, seeking the Lord's face. All right, John 3 and 14. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. So Moses, when he lifted up that bronze or that brass serpent, it represented a cursed thing that was lifted up for us. And we would focus on that because the Most High told us to. And that was the focus for us to do what the Lord told us to do. Focus on this, and you'll be healed. Not that the bronze serpent gave us any power. That's not the focus of this. He was saying, do as I say. And if we did it, we would be healed. And we had to look at that cursed thing to be healed. So in these times, Yahushua became a curse for us, even though he was not a cursed thing. He became that cursed thing for us to look upon and believe, and to be healed. So in these times, the same way Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. So whosoever, what? Of Israel. All right. This is Isaiah 11 and 12. And he shall set up an ensign. That word ensign goes into the word flag or banner. So Yahweh has set up the banner for us to lift up upon this high mountain. A nation that's ruling, Esau, or especially America. And he shall set up an ensign, a banner, for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth, man. All right, he's going to put the flagstaff in the ground, say this is the meeting point. We're gathered unto Yahushua. All right, that's the banner that we're lifting up, the word. All right, and he told us to lift up the banner upon the high mountain. Why? Because of this, Jeremiah 51 and 24. And I will render unto Babylon, right? That's why in the Amos chapter 13 it said the burden of Babylon, which Amos saw. So he foresaw it in the vision, making him a prophet. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea, today representing Americans, and all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain. See that? So America's that destroying mountain. Saith Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. All right, so you can call this mountain to crumble, and to be rolled down from the rocks means to make it fall. And it's gonna be what? A burnt mountain. And that goes with where he said, lift you up a banner upon that high mountain. That exalted mountain is gonna be brought down quick. And it's going to ultimately be a burnt mountain. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, so they ain't going to be able to rebuild it. There's nothing left that they're going to be able to take from this place and say, let's rebuild it from this point. It ain't going to happen. Nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith Yahweh. So the whole foundation in this place is going to be a lake of fire. All right. So let's do a recap. Song of Solomon 6 and 10. Who is she? So we know who the she is. All right. The woman, Israel, the bride, according to Revelation 21. That looketh forth as the morning, man. Same way the morning is rising little by little, all the way until the noonday, till it's at its fullest point. All right. And it rises in the east. That's where we're going to be shine forth. Okay, it says fair as the moon. So we even beautiful in these times. They put on our beautiful garments. All right. So we're beautiful, shining our light, reflecting the light, even though the moon has its own glimmer of light. But just like a glow in the dark toy, it absorbs the sunlight and shines in the dark. We have absorbed the light from Yahushua, and we give off that light in these dark times today. All right. So fair, beautiful as the moon in its fullness. See that? Going from not existent, just like a new moon, and waxing all until our perfection, up till we're at our fullest perfection of faith, to the last day, till the day star rise in our heart. And clear as the sun, unspotted, we're going to be made perfect. Okay, pure wisdom. And terrible as an army with banners. So we're fearful to these nations as an army all around the world lifting up our banners and shouting as we shouted against the walls of Jericho and marched 7 times around, and ultimately the walls fell as the nations that heard of the fame of our God, Yahweh, and the return of his son, Yahweh Shai. That put fear in these nations, especially the Illuminati of Esau. And so it's a terrible sight for them to see. It's scary to them. That's why scriptures say great fear fell upon them which saw them. Because these two witnesses, the two witnesses represent the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom of Israel. We were tormenting to these nations, man. Because we tormented them with what? Righteousness. And upbraided them with their wicked ways. Ultimately, the Pharaoh of Egypt, he even said it. He said, I and my people are wicked. So they knew that they knew they were wicked, man. Just like these nations shall find out today that they're the wicked, Esau. All right, so, and terrible as an army, Ezekiel 37, with banners, man. And that banner today is the word of truth. That's our banner. That's our shield. That's our buckler. That's our sword. And Yahweh Shai is our banner, you know, that we lift up the spirit of truth in Yahweh. All right, upon the high mountain, that's ultimately going to be a burnt mountain. With that, I'm gonna end it there. Hopefully this was edifying. This is an allegory. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.